Hey you! Today we are testing new makeup for the month of August 2025. And I gotta say, it is one of my absolute favorite videos to film for this channel. I just love testing new makeup. I don't know what it is. I love seeing what's new. I love trying it out. I love pairing all these different products together to see whether they work, whether they don't, whether they'll be compatible or not. So I hope you are as excited as I am. As always, there is nothing on my face when I begin. So by the end of this video, hopefully there'll be a look, or maybe it won't be a look. Maybe it won't make sense at all, but we are here to find out together. So subscribe if you aren't already, notification bell, and let's hit it. Let's test new makeup for August. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Okay, so today I have a couple of PR packages that I have on the side here. I also have a couple of, not a couple, a few lots of makeup right here in front of me to test out. And I'm gonna start from the top. I want to do something to these brows. I've got this really cute little House of Milani over here, PR package. I'm gonna pop up an unboxing that I did earlier. And we've got a bunch of stuff. We've got some lip oils, we've got some mascaras over here, but all of that doesn't matter right now. Like I said, I am here for the brows. So there's a whole tray of these new brow mousse tinted brow colors. They look like little mascara wands. These are exciting because they are made in Italy. You know how I feel about that country when it comes to makeup. So we've got 5 different shades here. I'm gonna grab the darkest one, which is brown black. My brows naturally are black. My hair, however, is brown. So I always try to go for like a cooler brow color whenever I'm filling in or whenever I'm using a brow mascara. So in this case, they don't have a cool, but they do have a brown black. All right, cute little spoolie. Let's see. This definitely feels moussey, very, very lightweight. This is definitely not a gel. Oh, did you catch that? That was rather pigmented. And thankfully I have a spoolie here with me so that I can hopefully fix that. So yeah, that is a little bit aggressive. That is a bit aggressive for what I was going for. Perhaps this is a product for someone with finer brows than me, given the fact that mine are already quite dark, quite hairy. I am, experiencing my first blunder in this video. Yeah, that is not looking amazing. Okay, that is not looking amazing whatsoever. I'm gonna need to clean up my spoolie and attempt to remove some of this color. So yeah, be careful with this brow mousse. It is quite pigmented. This is like a powdery sort of mousse, so it's a little bit hard to manipulate even with the spoolie, and it has like no hold whatsoever. So although it is made in Italy, I don't really understand who it's made for. Definitely not for me though. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna need to probably use some micellar water and clean this up because this is definitely a bit of a mess. Maybe I can use some concealer. All right, we're gonna leave that at that for now. This is cute, but perhaps not for me. That's okay. Next up, I'm gonna move down the list. I'm gonna apply my primer. I don't have a new primer to test out, so I'm gonna reach for my DANESSA Blurring Balm Powder. I actually haven't reached for it in a bit. It's been at least a month, perhaps a couple of weeks. I guess because I've been reaching so much for that Benefit Professional foundation, I've been pairing it with the Benefit Professional primer, or I've been reaching a lot for the L'Oreal Skin Ink, which doesn't require a primer, but a lot of moisturizer. So I've been skipping primer a lot of the times. But man, this is just such a great product. This is such a great product. Every time I use it, I just see my texture disappear. I see how it mattifies my skin so naturally, so flawlessly, you know. It just gives me this really even base. You know what? I can even use it to kind of clean up this crazy brow mess that I made. I should just leave that alone. All right, for foundation today, guys, we have a new reformulated Too Faced Born This Way. I know this looks like the original, and the bottle itself is no different than the original, but this was sent in a PR package that clearly stated that this is now a more hydrating version of it. It's supposed to be undetectable, medium to full coverage, natural finish, buildable coverage, lightweight formula. I have here shade Sand, which is my usual go-to color. I think it should work just fine for me. I've always been a fan of the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. In fact, this came out such a long time ago. It was probably one of my first go-to foundations that I've worn as an adult. All right, so I just squirted 3 drops Gonna use my IT Cosmetics Complexion Perfection. Shade Sand is always perfect on me. For some reason, this is one of those shades that works for me in the winter and in the summer. This looks and feels just like the original. I don't really see any sort of difference. Perhaps just a little bit creamier rather than liquidy, but man, is it flawless. I really don't reach for it enough. But now that I have this one, maybe I will. Let's see how it wears. I always feel like I don't need that much on my forehead because I don't have any freckles there, don't have any discoloration. So whatever excess I have on my forehead, I can always build up on my cheeks, on my jawline, work that into my hairline, into my jaw. How nice is that? This is such an OG foundation, and now that it's been reformulated, or I don't want to say reformulated because they're referring to it as it's even better than ever. So we'll stick to that. Now that it's better than ever, more hydrating. Actually, I do see that it's a little bit dewier than I remember. So although it is a natural finish, I kind of remember the original natural finish leaning a little bit more matte. But I guess right now in 2025, our definition of a natural finish has shifted a little bit more towards a dewy, more radiant, more skin-like sort of finish. So I guess this works. The match is like spot on. Spot on. Shade Sand is my go-to. Oh yeah. All right. I totally forgot to grab a concealer because I don't have a new concealer to test out. So I wanted to go for something that I already know and love. For the under eye, I'm going to use the CALIRAY Hideaway. On most days, I just use this brightener as a concealer. I just add a couple of dots. And then whenever I actually go out, I pair that with my DANESSA MYRICKS Lift and Flex Concealer, shade 7 or shade 8, just depending. I grab shade 8. It's a little bit more yellow. My skin right now is on the good side. Don't really have anything to complain about. Thank you, Skin Gods. Oh, and before I blend everything out, I should have probably mentioned, I said I was going to mention this every time. This is what I was wearing on my face before I started my makeup. It is the PIXI Clarity Mist. Basically, I just sprayed it on a cotton ball and I used it as a toner all over my face. And then on top of that, I used this new serum that I'm testing out from this very beloved skincare brand. It is a lab sample, so I'm not allowed to talk about it just yet. I'm actually waiting till the day that I can talk about it because it is really great. So basically just those two things. All right, let's blend out everything here. CALIRAY Brightener, shade Warm Sun Glow is one of my all-time favorite brighteners and color correctors. It is just the most perfect brightening shade of peach. It is not too much and it pairs so perfectly with so many different concealers because it has a very thin formula and it just cooperates. Brighten a bit around the nose. By the way, my little mirror is back. I thought I had lost it forever in my move, but recently I finally discovered it in one of my boxes. I am so excited. This is a mirror that is from Tatcha. It was sent in a PR package. You guys always ask me about this one. They put my name on it on the back, or rather my channel name, because maquillage, as we know, means makeup in French. It is my stage name after all. But anyway, the mirror has been found and I am so happy. All right, so now the face is on. I am excited for this next thing that is new that I'm going to test out. So we've got this new all over palette from Urban Decay. Look how it opens. And although this looks like an eyeshadow palette, it actually has 4 different textures. So there's creams in the center that you could use as a contour, as a bronzer, even as a brightening shade. Around that is basically powders in the same exact matching shade. Here we've got some shimmers, and this is the 4th formula, which is a glimmer shade that I guess you can use as a topper. So I definitely want to test this out. This is actually the cool palette, and for the life of me, I can't remember if I have both warm and cool, if I got rid of the warm, if I even had the warm in my possession. I know there are 2 palettes that Urban Decay came out with, but the cool just seems to make more sense to me for contouring purposes. So this is the one that I guess I kept. I don't know. All right, I am going to use this toothbrush looking brush and dip into some contour. First the cream. Oh, okay. That is looking rather gray on me. So I'm gonna mix it a little bit with the brown shade right under it. So yeah, that first shade, perfect contour shade if you have very fair skin. But if you're anywhere in the medium vicinity, you'll need to darken it up a bit. All right. I think I'm just going to use the brown by itself. Let's see if we can carve out some cheeks here. Not that we need to. Okay. Okay, at first impression, this feels a little bit too time consuming, a little bit too dry. I don't know. Like, who's actually going to sit here and do all this and take this long, right? And then you're going to need to blend it out. I feel like that's a bit much. I don't know about you. I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury contour brush to blend out the nose. Ooh, moreover, this doesn't even blend out that well. I don't know. I don't know, Urban Decay. This feels like very 2012, honestly. Feels like 2012 Halloween makeup. Very dry, like it's been sitting on the counter for a whole year before it actually got sold for Halloween. You know what I mean? I mean, definitely a better blend with a bigger brush, but it's okay. Perhaps a tad unnecessary in 2025. You know what I mean? I mean, we have a lot of contouring products to choose from. Literally, I just showed these incredible, inexpensive Morphe bronze and contour crayons, and they are so creamy. The colors are so believable, so fast. This by no means compares to that. I don't know. I was kind of expecting more. I've seen content creators talk very highly about this. I'm not sure I understand why. I don't think I'm gonna dip into this lighter shade. I have a feeling it's going to disappoint me, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I will definitely test out the mattes. We're gonna close this out for now. Also, as cute as this is, this feels absolutely very cheapy. Like very much kid makeup, very inexpensive feeling. I don't know. Something about this is not rubbing me the right way. That's okay, because we've got some cream blushes, lots of cream blushes to talk about. So let's talk about them. First of all, I want to show you these babies, these cute, super cute little minis, these mini blushes from PIXI. Oh, these are just so adorable. First of all, the product itself isn't new, but the packaging and the sizing is new. So you guys already are familiar with the PIXI On The Glow blushes. Just going to take the PH one to show you. This is how much product you get in this little mini, which to me is a fair amount, because those big ones, the ones that are the size of a deodorant, honestly, they will last you a long time because they are blushes. I can see that size being perfect for the On The Glow base, which is one of my favorite products, one of my favorite launches from PIXI, if not like my favorite complexion product for the summer. I can see that larger size working for something like that, something that you'll be using on the daily. But something like a blush, you know, that you will have a couple of different colors of, I think this is the perfect size, and it is just so cute. So in the blush, we have shade Juicy, one of my favorites. We have shade Fleur, pink. And we have shade Ruby, which is this beautiful ruby rose type of color. I am not going to apply those to my face. I just wanted to show you that they are here. They are available. They are mini. They are adorable. They look like little ice creams. I just want to eat them. I won't be eating them. I'm going to instead show you another little blush collection. Summer Fridays. This looks like a little coffee table book, right? And in it, we have these new blushes. These are supposed to be butter bombs, actually. So let me show you. I do actually have a little unboxing that I'll pop up so you can see the close-ups, but these are some of the colors. They kind of remind me very much of the original Fenty blushes. You guys remember those? Everyone was going crazy for them. Like literally, they are the same size. Colors are very similar as well. And the fact that they're balmy, those Fenty blushes were also balmy. All right, we also have a blush brush, and it is a dual-sided or dual-ended blush brush. Let's see what it says here. Ultra Blush, dual-ended cream blush brush. That is a mouthful. For effortless application and blending. I'm assuming this is like the pickup side. Let's go for this shade here. Shade Soft Strawberry. This one here. This is the lightest shade, I believe. Oh, wait. This is actually quite pigmented and quite poppy. I mean, this is really pretty. This is really pretty, Summer Fridays. Definitely reminds me of the Fenty Freestyle blushes. For sure. I would say these are a tad more pigmented, but it gives the exact same dewy, balmy sort of finish. A high glossy, glassy type of shine. I'm not mad at it. Let me go ahead and try a different shade. Let's go for shade Sweet Rosé, or is it Sweet Rose? Rosé, I was right. All right, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that. Oh, how dainty. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay, if I didn't have texture here, I would bring this blush all the way up to my concealer for that very effortless kind of current look, you know? I'm just gonna keep it in the center and towards the back. I feel like with the balmy formula, someone like myself, someone who has acne scars and texture, I have to be careful. But yeah, so far I really like it. Looks really good. Blend was easy. No problem. I really like this brush. Assuming this you could probably use for powder. Anyways, nice job. Thanks, Summer Fridays. We got a cute little balm here too. Okay, next, I was going to show you this other blush slash multi-stick from NARS, but I feel like I've run out of cheek real estate. So now I'm going to have to, I don't know, perhaps apply this to the lips. I have a couple shades here, shade Behave, shade Swing, shade Dazed. I'm going to apply a little bit of the Behave, perhaps on my nose. Okay, so this is a totally different formula. Just applied it to my nose and I see that although it is also a cream, it is very, very moussey. So the finish on this is matte. It's not balmy whatsoever. And if you apply too much, it can actually look a little bit cakey, which is what I just did. And I'm not loving what I did. So totally different formula. I would say the opposite formula. There we go. Perfect. So all you need to do is just buff it in and apply a lot less and you'll be good to go. All right, this looks promising. I believe there are 10 or 12 shades of these altogether. So I'll definitely try them in another video. For now, I just wanted to show you what we were working with, what's new on the horizon. But yeah, I think we'll go more into it in the coming videos. Oh yeah, this is something that literally just came in today and I am so excited for it. It is from CALIRAY and it's their brand new Magic Hour powders. So we have a brightening shade, shade Dawn, which is like a pinky. And then we have a golden shade that's supposed to add warmth to your face. And I'm going to pop up some pictures of some models here so you can see the difference on different skin tones on what the Dawn does versus what the golden does. You can especially see it here on this model. So you could really see how the Dawn, the brightening shade, adds just like this cool brightening effect to her skin, whereas the golden just saturates her natural skin tone. So this is very cool. And I'm into everything that includes a little bit of color theory and a little bit of just playing around and fun. Also, this is supposed to last for 16 hours. This is talc free and it's the first clean talc free setting powder that actually sets the makeup for 16 hours. Definitely want to put that to the test, but for now, let's go ahead. I'm gonna test out shade Dawn first. Also, we have this cool brush. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that right into my under eye, actually all around my eye, and kind of just like set this triangle here. Okay, immediately it gets rid of any of that shine from that balmy blush. I'm gonna add a little bit in between my brows and on the center of the forehead, lids, chin, kind of like around the blush just to soften it a pinch, but I'm still going to keep the tops wet and dewy. And now I'm going to test out shade Golden. So there are only 2 shades, but they are universal and they're supposed to add either warmth or brightness to most skin tones. And the golden shade definitely has a little bit of peachiness. I'm going to add that all over my forehead just to see if you guys notice a difference on camera. This is basically erasing any shine that I had on my forehead. I'm not seeing any shine anymore, like none whatsoever. And I'll show you a close-up, but this is pretty cool. So I'm just like painting this down from the blush down. How nice is that? This feels weightless on the skin, and the color shift, I will say, is subtle. It is very, very subtle, but I feel it more than I see it. So far, I am pretty impressed. I really like what it did to my texture here. I think I have to show you guys a close-up. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna start from the side. You see how dewy and balmy this part is? This is where I did not powder down. And wait till we turn here. Kind of starts getting very blurry. Right here in the under eye, that whole triangle that I powdered down here, this looks absolutely velvety. The forehead, I mean, is it me or is the camera having a hard time focusing because there's nothing to focus on? That is, I don't know if I'm seeing what I'm seeing, but if I am, then I am impressed. That has to be probably one of the most blurring products I've tried in a while. Wow. I don't know if it'll last though. I don't know if it'll last 16 hours because I am very oily and this is talc free. Okay, so we'll see. But I am eager to test this on another day, on my own day. And of course I'll report back as I always do. But for now, so far, so good. I've got something else very exciting for you guys. We've got yet another reformulated product. This one is from Patrick Ta. This is the PR package. And I don't know if you guessed it, but the reformulated product is Patrick's Highlighter Duos. So these came out, I believe, sometime last year. 5 shades altogether. Shade Baby, Shade Daddy, Shade Honey, My Love. This one was the very editorial one. And there's also Shade Sugar, but Shade Sugar is apparently running late, so they actually sent another blush instead. This is basically the duo that has the cream on top and the powder on the bottom that you're supposed to apply powder first, cream second. This is the Patrick Ta way. This is how he's always kind of done it for his celebrity clientele. So this is the product that he created sometime last year, perhaps 2 years years ago. I don't quite remember, but I actually really liked the original version. There was nothing wrong with it for me personally. I thought it was very cool, very different, very innovative. I really loved the fact that it was his signature style, you know, so I appreciated it. But apparently now it is different. So I'm gonna go for this neutral shade here, shade Zaddy. We also have a new highlighter brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the powder first. I mean, I already kind of have the dewy blush underneath, so perhaps I'm gonna apply this under my brow bone and then carefully on top of this balmy cheekbone here. Do you guys see it? Very, very nice. Very reflective, very glassy. Do that on this side too. I'm going in quite generously with the product too. I just really want to see what the difference is. So far, I'm not sure if I can tell what the difference is. Perhaps the powder itself is just a little bit finer. Perhaps the sparkles are less sparkly and more shiny, more glowy. All right, and now let's see if we can top that off with the cream. I'm gonna go for my finger first. This feels very, very balmy, but it has like a sheer glossy finish. I definitely added that wet shine. I'm gonna add some to my brow bone as well. Then I'm gonna pick some up with this brush just to see. Oh, I quite like it with the brush. Quite nice and precise. Ooh, I think the difference is subtle. It's my girl right here, Maryam. What I gather from just like my first impression, I think the difference is more so in the powder. Powder being a little bit finer and a little bit less sparkly, more glowy. And also, I think the balm itself is just a little bit more stable. I think the original balm was very, very liquidy, almost a little bit goopy, which I personally liked, especially when applying it with a damp beauty blender, but I understand that perhaps this is just more of a stable type of formula and easier to package. So I appreciate this as well, but that's just my observation. Let's move on. From Bobbi Brown, we've got the mother load here. Literally, I think they packed every single one of their eyeshadow crayons in this vault. These are not necessarily new. Perhaps there are some new shades, but what is new, at least to me, are these dual-ended ones. Have you guys seen these before? There are the 6 shades, and I think I want to go for this wine rosy one, shade Brazen and Radiant Rose. Okay, cute. Shade Brazen is basically a matte. Ooh, this is very nice and smooth, super, super soft. Frankly, not how I remember the original shadow crayons from Bobbi. This feels better and like super, super easy. Also, this has a moussey formulation, quite easy to blend. Probably even do it with your finger, really. Really like this color. I'm gonna pull out the wing here just for fun. All right, and now on to the next shade, which is the Radiant Rose. Oh, very nice. So basically this is the sparkly version of the first shade. They are perfectly matched, in fact, but this one has shimmer and sparkle. Very subtle though, very sophisticated. Definitely very much in a Bobbi Brown style rather than say a Half Magic or younger like Euphoria type of makeup, you know? Definitely a time and a place for both. I appreciate this. This is demure. Speaking of Half Magic and Euphoria, I brought it up for a reason. They have a new shade of my absolute favorite Glimmer Pop glitter. And this is in the shade Glimmer Pop, actually. Oh my God, almost came out. Almost came out. I forgot how fragile these are. You have to be so, so careful. But this is so glittery. It's wet to the touch. It is amazing. Look at that. Look at that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add that, like a nice foiled amount of that to the center of the lid for that super wet. So this is their new shade. Like I said, you can apply a little bit or a lot. If you apply a little bit, it's going to look like a wet glitter type of effect. If you apply a lot, it's gonna look foiled. So, 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 so cool. So this is the 3rd shade in the collection. And I gotta say, it's probably my most favorite one because the other 2 were very specific. One was rosy, the other one was silver. So silver felt very Y2K or perhaps very robotic, futuristic. This one feels more glamorous. This one feels a little bit more like red carpet, if I will. If you will. If I will. What? This feels a little bit more red carpet. I don't know where we're going, but the look is coming together. New liner from KOSAS. This one is called, of course, it fell, it broke. Because you know why? I cannot function with long nails. I cannot wait to get rid of this. So this new KOSAS liner is called the Soulgazer, and it is an intensifying gel liner. It has a spoolie on the bottom so you can blend it out. So I'm assuming this is not for the waterline. It's not one of those waterproof self-setting ones. Probably a very glidey gel type of liner. In fact, I think this is exactly what it is. I'm gonna just go ahead and add that just a tad to the top of my lashes, just to kind of lift the outer corner. I think this is what this look is missing. Just a little bit of darkness right there, literally in that spot. And then I'm not going to use the little smudger. Instead, I'm just going to use a brush, that same brush, the Mario brush. I'm going to run it through and lift it out. By the way, if you are someone who has trouble with creating the cat eye flick, this is probably the easiest application method. Basically, all you have to do is just smudge some liner, something that is smudgy, something like this, across your top lash line or just across the corner like I just did. And then you use a brush like this to pull it out in whatever direction. And it becomes such an easy task, so much easier than creating that sort of wing with a liquid liner, which is very unforgiving because it goes exactly where you place it. And you absolutely cannot make mistakes with a liquid liner unless you have the time to perfect the mistake and clean it up. But with this, it's just so much easier because all you're doing is little by little pulling it out. I'm gonna add a little bit more to my wing here. And then if you have a clean brush, you can literally just clean it up underneath like that. So good. Are we ready for the next new product? I've got two mascaras to test out. One from Jane Iredale. This is their brown tubing mascara. I really like their tubing mascaras actually. It is called the Lash Fixation Length and Definition Tubing Mascara. Now it is in brown. The second one we have here is the KOSAS Soulgazer. This one I've been wearing all week. It is black and it is beautiful. It is lengthening. It is natural, but definitely buildable. And so this isn't my first time reaching for it, but it's my first time showing it on camera. Outside of my IG stories, of course. If you guys are not following me on my IG stories, that is where I usually do all of my unboxings. That is where you see all this new makeup first, as well as any little personal trials that I do on a day-to-day basis. I always post my reactions. I recently just posted my thoughts on that reformulated Urban Decay setting spray. And I had a few things to say. We've had a few conversations about it in the DMs. So if you're not following me there, I hope you join us, because that's really where I post all of my initial first thoughts. But yeah, this mascara I already like. I've already worn it. I like that it is nice and feathery. It does exactly what it's supposed to very quickly. I feel like KOSAS products have been winning me over lately. There's a lot of products from this brand that I really, really enjoy in my daily life that I recommend to people. I also like the fact that they're clean. The blushes are fun and vibrant. Colors are very current, very modern. Here we go. All right, so we've got the black on the top. Now we're gonna apply the brown on the bottom. Oh, I love that this isn't a warm brown. It is actually a cool dark chocolate brown, which I think is so much more wearable. If you have dark eyes, I find that too light of a brown mascara can actually make darker eyes look smaller. At least that's been my impression. It almost creates a separation between your eye and any makeup that you may have put on. Like let's say you're wearing a liquid liner, but too light of a brown mascara, it doesn't work if you have brown eyes like mine. Like not hazel, not light brown, just like doo-doo brown. And so as much as I love a brown mascara, I prefer something that is still darker than my eye color, you know? Okay, this is quite cute. I'm liking where we're going. Don't know where we're going. The only thing I'm not loving is my brows. I feel like they're falling down. I wasn't able to set them the way that I typically do. So they're kind of like in their natural state with this like blocky end. This tail end is just like not giving what it's supposed to. I really should have fixed it, but this is a makeup trial after all. We're just gonna stick it through. I think so far I'm pretty satisfied. We are almost done. We are almost at the end of this trial. I'm gonna reach back out for my little House of Milani. Oh, I forgot. They also had a mascara, but this one we'll definitely save for another video. This is their highly rated mascara, but the new version is brown, so that we will come back to. What I did want to show you are their new plumping lip liners and also some new plumping glitter glosses. Ooh, I think I'm gonna need the swatch model for this. Ding, ding, ding. So camera cut off, and we took the liberty to open up these plumping lip liners that I am so excited to test out, because really the only plumping lip liners that I've liked so far have been the Too Faced and the NYX Duck Plump, but only a couple of shades. Not all the shades are great, and so I am really excited for these. I like the fact that there are some darker, vampier shades, and so I'm just gonna go for the vampiest of them all. I'm gonna go for shade Fire Sign. This looks like a nice brown. Obviously, I already have the lip stain on my lips. This is from earlier today. I'm sorry it ain't going nowhere, but I'm gonna go right over it. Okay, I'm not feeling that plump just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and feather in the corners. Starting to feel a little something, but nothing too crazy just yet. Ooh, this pencil is very, very soft, so I already used up quite a lot of it. Color is definitely stunning. I'm feeling just like the slightest little tingle, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna go for another shade here called Hot Tamale. This is more of a softer brown, just to create a bit more of a gradient. All right, and while we're here, I might as well just use another shade. Shade Twice as Spice. I think this is a nude. Basically just creating a little ombre situation here. Yeah, there definitely isn't a burn the way that I would expect from a Too Faced pencil or even a NYX Duck Plump. There's like a subtle little sting, I guess. Very, very subtle. And now I'm gonna reach for these new lip oils, also from MILANI. These are the Fruit Fetish lip oils, and we have some new shades here. And I am thinking either this shade here, Pumpkin Spice. Oh no, I'm not ready for Pumpkin Spice, no. Or shade Hot Cocoa. You know what? Not ready for a hot cocoa either, but I'd rather a hot cocoa than a pumpkin spice. I gotta say, that is stunning. That is a stunning color, and it perfectly brought everything together for me. All right, so now I'm feeling like we are a little bit less New Jersey housewife and perhaps a little more mob wives. I don't know if that's the same thing or not, but here we are. Here is the look. What do we think? I'll tell you what I think. The complexion is looking so, so good to me right now. I am just loving the perfect balance of matte and glossy and glassy at the same time. I love this cheek combo with the subtle contour that I didn't actually like. I wasn't really a fan of those cream contour shades that I tried, but overall, it looks pretty nice with everything else that I have going on. Really like those Summer Fridays blush bombs. The colors are very pretty, very flattering, very popping. Definitely remind me of Fenty. In fact, they remind me so much of Fenty, I think I'm gonna have to swatch them side by side and really test it out in my own spare time. I'm loving the way that the eyes came out. I like those dual crayons from Bobbi Brown. Especially love the glitter shade from Half Magic. Really, really nice. Loving, absolutely loving my new KOSAS mascara. The Jane Iredale doesn't disappoint either. These plumping lip liners are not really plumping, but I really do like the colors. I think they're really pretty for fall. And in fact, I just realized that this whole House of MILANI collection is actually their new fall collection, which is why it is leaning this way. I like this lip gloss oil. Really, really impressed with the new CALIRAY powders, the brightening and the golden. I think it definitely does something to the complexion. It makes it so pretty, so velvetized in a way, so mattified, but in just the most velour sense of the word. It really makes the skin look just touchable and soft and nice and flattering, you know? I like the KOSAS liner. Everything is working so far. Not crazy about the brow product because it is clearly not crazy about me. It is not for me. It is for someone else, but I'm not too mad at it. I'm just mad at myself for not taking it easy. But anyway, that's okay. That is my trial for today. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think of my look. What is it giving? What is it serving? On that final note, I am going to say peace out to you guys. I'm gonna zoom on out so that I can make some space for the next video that you should click on. So please do that, and I will see you there. Bye. Deuces.